A wealthy old lady decides to go on a photo safari in Africa, taking her poodle along for company. One day the poodle starts chasing butterflies and before long, discovers that he's lost. Wandering about, he notices a hungry-looking leopard heading rapidly in his direction. The poodle thinks, oh. Noticing some bones on the ground close by, he immediately settles down to chew on the bones with his back to the approaching cat. Just as the leopard is about to leap, the poodle exclaims loudly, "Boy, that was one delicious leopard. I wonder if there are any more around here." Hearing this, the leopard halts his attack in mid-strike. A look of terror comes over him and he slinks away into the trees. "Phew," says the leopard, "that was close. That poodle nearly had me." Meanwhile, a monkey who had been watching the whole scene from a nearby tree figures he can put this knowledge to good use and trade it for protection from the leopard. So off he goes, but the poodle sees him heading after the leopard with great speed, and figures that something must be up. The monkey soon catches up with the leopard, spills the beans and strikes a deal for himself with the leopard. The leopard is furious at being made a fool of and says, "Here, monkey, hop on my back so you can watch me chew that poodle to bits." Now, the poodle sees the leopard coming with the monkey on his back and thinks, "What am I going to do now?" But instead of running, the dog sits down with his back to his attackers, pretending he hasn't seen them yet, and waits until they get just close enough to hear. "Where's that damn monkey?" The poodle says, "I sent him off an hour ago to bring me another leopard." Rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing. A lady goes to her parish priest one day and tells him, "Father, I have a problem. I have 2 female parrots, but they only know how to say one thing." "What do they say?" the priest inquired. "They say, 'Hi, we're prostitutes. Do you want to have some fun?'" The woman said embarrassingly. "That's obscene." The priest exclaimed, "I can see why you are embarrassed." He thought a minute and then said, "You know, I may have a solution to this problem. I have 2 male parrots whom I have taught to pray and read the Bible. Bring your 2 parrots over to my house and we will put them in the cage with Francis and Job. My parrots can teach your parrots to praise and worship. I'm sure your parrots will stop saying that phrase in no time." "Thank you," the lady responded, "this may very well be the solution." The next day, she brought her female parrots to the priest's house. As he ushered her in, she saw his 2 male parrots were inside their cage, holding their rosary beads and praying. Impressed, she walked over and placed her parrots in with them. After just a couple of seconds, the female parrots exclaimed out in unison, "Hi, we're prostitutes. Do you want to have some fun?" There was a stunned silence. Finally, one male parrot looked over at the other male parrot and said, "Put the beads away, Francis, our prayers have been answered." Rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the One day a magical frog sees a bear chasing after a rabbit for dinner. In an attempt to bring peace to his magical forest, the frog hops up to the 2 and promises them 3 wishes each if they stop this violence. After both animals agreed, the frog chooses the bear to state his first wish first. After thinking for a while, the bear says, "I wish for all the bears in this forest to be female except me." Next is the rabbit's turn. "I wish for a motorcycle helmet," he says. The bear laughed. "What an idiotic wish to make," he thought to himself. The bear then says, "I wish for all the bears in this country to be female except me." The rabbit next says, "I wish for a motorcycle that requires no gas." The bear, almost tearing from laughter, says, "You could have wished for money to get those 2 things." He then proceeds to make his final wish. After thinking for a while, he says to the frog, "I wish for all the bears in the world to be female except for me." He smiles smugly. The rabbit then puts on his helmet, hops on his motorcycle, grins to the bear and says, "I wish for this bear to be gay." Rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing. 3 bulls heard the rancher was bringing another bull onto the ranch. First bull, "I've been here 5 years. I'm not giving this new bull any of my 100 cows. Second bull, "I've been here 3 years and have earned my right to 50 cows. I'm keeping all my cows. Third bull, "I've only been here a year, and so far, you guys have only let me have 10 cows. I may not be as big as you fellows, but I'm keeping all 10 of my cows." Just then an 18-wheeler pulls up in the pasture carrying the biggest bull they've ever seen. At 4,700 pounds, each step he takes strains the steel ramp. First bull, "I think I can spare a few cows for our new friend." Second bull, "I actually have too many cows to take care of. I can spare a few. I'm certainly not looking for an argument." They look over at the third bull and find him pawing the dirt, shaking his horns and snorting. First bull, son, don't be foolish, let him have some of your cows and live to tell about it. Third bull, hell, he can have all my cows. I'm just making sure he knows I'm a bull. Rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, tears of... A man takes the day off work and decides to go out golfing. He is on the second hole when he notices a frog sitting next to the green. He thinks nothing of it and is about to shoot when he hears ribbit. 9 iron. The man looks around and doesn't see anyone. Ribbit. 9 iron. He looks at the frog and decides to prove the frog wrong. He puts his other club away and grabs the 9 iron. Boom. He hits it 10 inches from the cup. He is shocked. He says to the frog, wow, that's amazing. You must be a lucky frog, eh? The frog replies, ribbit. Lucky frog. The man decides to take the frog with him to the next hole. What do you think, frog? The man asks. Ribbit. 3 wood. The guy takes out a 3 wood, and boom. A hole in one. The man is befuddled and doesn't know what to say. By the end of the day, the man has golfed the best game of golf in his life and asks the frog, okay, where to next? The frog replies, ribbit. Las Vegas. They go to Las Vegas and the guy says, okay, frog, now what? The frog says, ribbit. Roulette. Upon approaching the roulette table, the man asks, what do you think I should bet? The frog replies, ribbit. $3,000 black 6. Now, this is $1 million to 1 shot to win, but after the golf game, the man figures what the heck. Boom, tons of cash come sliding back across the table. The man takes his winnings and buys the best room in the hotel. He sits the frog down and says, frog, I don't know how to repay you. You've won me all this money and I am forever grateful. The frog replies, ribbit, kiss me. He figures, why not? After all the frog did for him, it is a small price to pay. With the kiss, however, the frog turns into a gorgeous 15-year-old girl. And that, Your Honor, is how the girl ended up in my room. Rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, tears of... A mouse and a lion walk were in a bar, drinking a few beers when a giraffe walked in. Get a load of her, said the mouse, what a babe. Well, why not try your luck? Replied the lion. So the mouse went over to the giraffe and started talking to her. Within 5 minutes they're out the door and into the night. The next day, the lion was drinking in the bar, when the mouse staggered in. The mouse is completely worn out, and can hardly hold himself up. The lion helped his pal up onto a stool, poured a drink down his throat and said, what the hell happened to you? I saw you leave with the giraffe, what happened after that? Was she alright? The mouse replied, yeah, she was really something. We went out to dinner, had a couple of glasses of wine, and she invited me back to her place to spend the night. And oh, man, I've never had a night like it. But how come you look like you're so exhausted? Asked the lion. Well, said the mouse, between the kissing and the screwing, I must have run 1,000 miles. Rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, tears of... 3 handsome male dogs are walking down the street when they see a beautiful, enticing, female poodle. The 3 male dogs fall all over themselves in an effort to be the one to reach her first, but end up arriving in front of her at the same time. The males are speechless before her beauty, slobbering on themselves and hoping for just a glance from her in return. Aware of her charms and her obvious effect on the 3 suitors, she decides to be kind and tells them, the first one who can use the words liver and cheese together in an imaginative, intelligent sentence can go out with me. The sturdy, muscular black lab speaks up quickly and says, I love liver and cheese. Oh, how childish, said the poodle. That shows no imagination or intelligence whatsoever. She turned to the tall, shiny golden retriever and said, how well can you do? I hate liver and cheese, blurts the golden retriever. My, said the poodle. I guess it's hopeless. That's just as dumb as the lab's sentence. She then turns to the last of the 3 dogs and says, how about you, little guy? The last of the 3, tiny in stature but big in fame and finesse, is the Taco Bell Chihuahua. He gives her a smile, a sly wink, turns to the golden retriever and the lab and says, liver alone, cheese mine. Rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the... A woman was thinking about finding a pet to help keep her company at home. She decided she would like to find a beautiful parrot. It wouldn't be as much work as, say, a dog, and it would be fun to hear it speak. She went to a pet shop and immediately spotted a large, beautiful parrot. She went to the owner of the store and asked how much. The owner said it was $50. Delighted that such a rare-looking and beautiful bird wasn't more expensive, she agreed to buy it. The owner looked at her and said, "Look, I should tell you first that this bird used to live in a whorehouse. Sometimes it says pretty vulgar stuff." The woman thought about this but decided she had to have the bird. She said she would buy it anyway. The pet shop owner sold her the bird and she took it home. She hung the bird's cage up in her living room and waited for it to say something. The bird looked around the room, then at her, and said, "New house, new madam." The woman was a bit shocked at the implication, but then thought that's not so bad. A couple hours later, the woman's 2 teenage daughters returned from school. When they inspected the bird, it looked at them and said, "New house, new madam, new whores." The girls and the woman were a bit offended at first, but then began to laugh about the situation. A couple of hours later, the woman's husband came home from work. The bird looked at him and said, "New house, new madam, new horse, hi George." Rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing. A dog walks into a butcher shop with a purse strapped around his neck. He walks up to the meat case and calmly sits there until it's his turn to be waited on. A man, who was already in the butcher shop, finished his purchase and noticed the dog. The butcher leaned over the counter and asked the dog what it wanted today. The dog put its paw on the glass case in front of the ground beef, and the butcher said, "How many pounds?" The dog barked twice, so the butcher made a package of 2 pounds ground beef. He then said, "Anything else?" The dog pointed to the pork chops, and the butcher said, "How many?" The dog barked 4 times, and the butcher made up a package of 4 pork chops. The dog walked around behind the counter, so the butcher could get at the purse and take out the appropriate amount of money before tying the 2 packages of meat around the dog's neck. The man, who had been watching all of this, decided to follow the dog. The dog walked for several blocks and then walked up to a house where it began to scratch the door to be let in. As the owner opened the door, the man called to the owner, "That's our ally smart dog you have there." "He's not really all that smart," the owner replied. "This is the second time this week he forgot his key." Rolling on the floor laughing. A young boy, about 8 years old, walks into the local grocery store and picks out a huge box of laundry detergent. The grocer walked over, and trying to be friendly, asked the boy if he had a lot of laundry to do. "Nope, no laundry," the boy said, "I'm going to wash my dog." "But you shouldn't use this to wash your dog. It's very powerful, and if you wash your dog in this, he'll get sick. In fact, it might even kill him." But the boy was not to be stopped and carried the detergent to the counter and paid for it, even as the grocer still tried to talk him out of washing his dog. About a week later, the boy was back in the store to buy some candy. The grocer asked the boy how his dog was doing. "Oh, he died," the boy said sadly. The grocer, trying not to be an "I told you so," said he was sorry the dog died, but added, "I tried to tell you not to use that detergent on your dog." "Well," the boy replied, "I don't think it was the detergent that killed him." "Oh, what was it then?" "I think it was the spin cycle." Rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy. 2 vampire bats wake up in the middle of the night thirsty for blood. One says, "Let's fly out of the cave and get some blood." "We're new here," says the second one. "It's dark out, and we don't know where to look. We'd better wait until the other bats go with us." The first bat replies, "Who needs them? I can find some blood somewhere." He flies out of the cave. When he returns, he is covered with blood. The second bat says excitedly, "Where did you get the blood?" The first bat takes his buddy to the mouth of the cave. Pointing into the night, he asks, "See that black building over there?" "Yes," the other bat answers. "Well," says the first bat, "I didn't." Rolling on the floor laughing, rolling.